And a good Saturday morning to you. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you on another picture-perfect Chamber of Commerce day here in Hollandale Beach. We've got a fast main track, the Tapeta as well. We're off the turf just because we're taking a little break for the big run to the championship meet, which of course kicks off on Thanksgiving Day this year, an 11:15 first post on November the 28th, front and center. So we've got, thank you guys. You guys have been great upstairs and appreciate that. There you see it there, 11:15, Thursday, November 28th, the old lid lifter for the championship meet. And that'll also start Thursday racing, which will run throughout December, and then of course we pick up Wednesdays in January, and never too early, and it has now become front and center. Championship meet on Thursday, November 28th, Thanksgiving Day, and that's the new wrinkle. Looking forward to that. But boy, we've got some heavy lifting before we get there, because we've got a strong 11 race card today. We've got a state bred sprint stakes for 2-year-olds, but also we've got the Rainbow Six, and there was a live ticket yesterday into the finale, didn't quite come to fruition, so it's $200,000 in the estimated jackpot. It was right on point yesterday, and it will be so, if not more, today. This is a fun card. We talked the 2-year-old fillies in a maiden special weight yesterday. Boy, was Roja Rita good for Safi Joseph Jr., literally running off the screen. But we've got two dynamite 2-year-old maiden special weight races, Curl and Florida Derby-esque kind of horses if they progress down that path, and I know darn well their connections are hoping that they do so. Those kinds of races. Hey, if you saw the entries, by the way, for next Friday, who's in there? White Abario, back with Safi Joseph Jr. for C2 in the company. Can't wait to see him back at home here at Gulfstream Park. Those races have drawn. We'll talk about that plenty. That is really, really exciting. A Breeders' Cup Classic Horse of the Year winner back here at Gulfstream Park. But let's kick it off in the early pick 5 here in race number 1. We've got about 55 minutes to post. Not a lot of major scratches and changes today, but there was one in this leg here. I knocked this ticket down to $27, 3 deep in the opening leg. Race number 2, the top pick is the 2, Don't Tell Amy, kind of a fresh new face for Danielle Cordero. Race 3, we go 3 deep. I'm with the 4, Painted Blue. Race 4, you can see the single, and that's Cool Intentions, who makes the second career star, and that's the first of the 2 big maiden special weights I talked about. And in race number 5, Long Shot Play, and that unfortunately gets whacked a little bit with 3 scratches, but that is the 6, Warlord Cruzan. 1 scratch of a key scratch, excuse me. That's the 6, Warlord Cruzan, on a $27 early pick 5 ticket. Let's get back to the opener. We've got a lot to do today, a lot of replays to show and works and all that kind of good stuff. The opener's at 5.5 on the Tapeta. These are 3-year-old fillies or 4 and up, which have never won 2. Your tag here is $35,000, a full robust field of 10, and we'll start with the 9 for me, and that is Misprint for Bobby DeBona. Rising significantly in class, but she's been in very, very good form for Bobby. She's 3 for 6 on the Tapeta. I like her running style. I like this outside kind of attack post for her, and maybe she can bridge the gap from 16, an easy win last time, to 35 today. Next is the 5, My Wife Knows It All, and I want to show you the replay here. She had a lot of trouble last time, but she, to her credit, was only beaten 5 lengths. She wasn't going to win this race, but she really did get compromised, and she probably could have been 3rd. She had trouble earlier in the race as well, and you can kind of see she essentially just kind of coasted to the line a little bit. She would have been a lot closer that day, and I think that was a good starter optional claimer that day too. You look at her run 2 starts back, it was an easy win for a quarter. It was kind of above and beyond anything she's ever done, but I think if she gets back to it, she's a big player in here. Warda is the 8 for Jose D'Angelo. She's a threat as well, though she did give it up last time. We'll have to monitor Denver's Alley, who cut back last time and broke her maiden. She's way early in the betting, but she's 6-5 right now. I had her last time. I'm a little against her today. Let's go to race number 2 now, an early pick 4 time as well, and Samantha's got a ticket. She's not here, but she's got an updated ticket here today, so let's take a look at it. And she's going to single the 4, and that is Star Performance, who's definitely front and center in here, and then she goes 3 by 3 by 4 to end this pick 3, and I think I like what she's doing here, because first of all, we're going to get to the likely favorite, and that's not one Samantha's using in a second. But this is a 12-5 maiden claimer for fillies and mares, 3 and up. We go 6 furlongs. It is a clean field of 9. We'll start with my top pick, the 2, Don't Tell Amy at 6-1 on the morning line, excuse me. Haven't seen her since October of 2023. That was with Tom Morley on the Naira circuit, and we know Tom does such a solid job up there. We've been well, I'm not even call it fresh today. We've been off since then, okay? So obviously something went amiss with this daughter of Twirling Candy. Eniel Cordero is now taking over. It's not a big stat. He's popped with a couple first-timers into the barn at least. The works here aren't bad at all. And the 2 works since a little bit of a mini, since she got down here at least, they've been pretty good. And I'm looking at the 2 works in November. They seem to have kind of up the ante a little bit and tighten the screws a little bit. I'll take a shot. She's supposed to be a square price in here. Samantha's horse is the 4-star Performance, and I kind of feel like she's the horse to beat. She's not going to be favored, I wouldn't expect, but she's been this is such a Samantha play. She's been doing turf in Topeka. She's never tried the main track, and now Jenna Antonucci's going to run her on the main track, and Samantha's got an angle that I've really kind of turned around to a little bit, in that horses trying a new surface for the first time, they really can wake up, and that's what we're trying to do with Star Performance today. Let's show you the replay of West Bank, Iron Shield, and For the Thrill. West Bank, if it is even possible, hung more last time than she had ever done before, and I never thought that was possible. This is arguably the best finishing rider here in Paco Lopez. She's taken the lead from a 4-5 Safi horse. She's going to win. Today's going to be the day. Finally, she's going to win. No, she doesn't want to win. Come on, and watch her just hang so badly. And, you know, I'm kind of a little tongue-in-cheek in here, but that has happened at least 5 times. She always fires a good shot, especially in the proper element, and that's sprinting on the main track. She doesn't want to win. She's always bet, and she'll do that again if you give her the chance. So you just can't play her, and that's why I'm not even using her in any of my sequences, because she doesn't want to win. She's now 0 for 12 with 7 seconds and 2/3, and they keep betting her, and Paco couldn't get her home last time. So you just can't take another short number on a horse like that. Let's go to race number 3 now. We're 5 furlongs on the Topeta. These are $8,000 3Ls, 3-year-olds and up, excuse me. Clean field of 9 in here. Top pick for me is Painted Blue. We can show you the replay. Painted Blue last time, and Urge to Merge as well. Urge to Merge, you have to give him credit. Painted Blue's doing all the dirty work here, so you have to give him credit too. But Urge to Merge, watch his hind end get whacked out a little bit here. He's in between and right there. He loses some traction. He loses some momentum. To his credit, he's going to keep on running on, and he's fighting, and he's trying. But when you employ a running style like that, especially now that he's breaking down from the inside on the rail, I think we see this race, and even with the trouble, I think it's pretty obvious that Painted Blue ran the better race. He had to run hard every step of the way. I'm going to put him on top in here. I'm going to use both of them out of that race because I think Urge to Merge has a right to run better. And then number 6 is Frizan, who, don't sleep on him. Cheryl Weinbaugh, if you're not familiar with this barn, she's going to come down every year from Hawthorne in the Midwest, and she's going to win races just like she did yesterday at 13-1. And Frizan, now I don't know where his form is because it's been suspect of late, but the last time he was with Cheryl Weinbaugh on the Topeta here at Gulfstream Park, he ran in 2 races and delivered 2 efforts that would win this race. The question is, where is the form? And that's what we'll figure out today. If he's favored in here, and he could well be, I didn't make him favored, I made him the 3rd choice on the morning line. If he's favored, I think it's a really good sign that he's going to fire a big shot. And if he's at his best, he'll beat this field. Simple as that. Race number 4, and this is the first of the 2-year-old maiden special weights. The good races here today. It's going a mile now, so you probably want to have some foundation in here. 2-year-olds at a flat 1-turn mile on a fast main track. Scratch the 4, and that is Gianluca Be Lucky. Cool Intentions on debut with Shot in the Dark on debut. They caught a buzzsaw in Rolando. The firster for Fasto, the homebred for St. George's Stable, was working off the board, was bet, and delivered. We're going to show you the race. And Cool Intentions blew the start a little bit, and he was immediately behind the 8-ball. And here is the start now. This is the AMO racing colors that we know so well. He's going to break slow, and it took him a little while to get back in the game a little bit. And you can see he's already under the hard chase. Edgar doesn't want to be back there. Nothing he could do. The horse broke slow, and it's a first-time starter. But look how quickly he's put back in the race, okay? But now look at Shot in the Dark, coming down from Saratoga for Jenna Antonucci. The problem with Shot in the Dark is he's got Rolando, who is a real buzzsaw in this spot, pressing him the entire way. Cool Intentions now, he might even, he would have had a shot to win this race if he broke alertly, because he's in the catbird seat here. He was a clear second. He was beaten 3 lengths by Rolando. Shot in the Dark backs up pretty badly. I don't even care about that. What I wanted to show there was how hard he was forced to run early on, and that's why he was kind of vanquished late. Yes, Rolando ran third the other day at about 4 to 5. He ran a big race. Go back and watch it. Don't think he just isn't that good. He ran a big race. The flow of it was really against him. I think Cool Intentions is in a great spot today. Shot in the Dark, I got to see a little more, though, even though he did have a less than advantageous set of circumstances last time. Saratoga races, can he get back to him, remains to be seen. Statesman, good to see the Hall of Famer Shug McGahee back here in the entry box. You want to talk championship meet, it's coming. And there's Shug, and we got West Point here as well, Woodford Racing. You know, Statesman was 7-1 in a good race on debut at Saratoga, trying at, I don't know, funky turn and a half, whatever they got up there that Wilson shoots. It's an absolutely weird race. He was okay. He was third, beaten 10 lengths. He tried the turf in 2 turns last time. I don't think he wants to turf. So now he's back. He's at a flat 1-turn mile. You could argue he's got some class to him on this field. We'll see what happens. He might be a little bit of an underlay in here. I didn't think he ran all that well that day at Saratoga on the main track, but you know, Shug's not a guy that's going to crank him up either. So we'll see what we get today. Safi's got the 7 Forever Now. He's been, you know, facing much lesser and not winning. We'll see about that. He's also got the firster down inside 11 Bravo. Drayden Van Dyke's on this one. The dam wanted one in grade 3, but she wanted to run long. We might need an extra turn in here. I don't love the rail either, but you can't ignore this barn. That is for sure. What a good one in race 4. Race number 5 now will go 5.5 on the Tapeta. These are $8,000 claimers, 3-year-olds and 3 and up, which have never won 3, excuse me. Scratch the 5 Dundee. It's a big scratch because he could have won this race. And this is my long shot in here. Warlord Cruzan is the 6 horse. And I want to show you the race 2 back. And what happened was, draw a line through the last race. That's the route race. Warlord Cruzan has never wanted to route at all. He's coming up the inside. Super Sunshine is in here as well. And watch, we talk about the dead inside on the Tapeta, okay? Warlord Cruzan's seemingly had run off the far turn, and he's going absolutely nowhere. And watch what happens when Joe Trehouse tips him out, okay? He's going to run on pretty darn nicely. And here you can see it right here. He's firing a little bit. You don't want to be down on the inside. I don't expect him to be on the inside today. And the other thing, we got Melvis aboard. We'll get a weight allowance too. The other thing is, I think he might be finding his form again. And when Warlord Cruzan was good, he would annihilate this field. I'm not saying he's going to get back to that Warlord Cruzan, but that run 2 back says to me he's still got a little left in the tank, and I think he's going to fire a good shot today. Surely Super Sunshine is the horse to beat. Colin Mirage had the 5 Dundee. He's out. Boogie Aubrey Mirage is going to run the 4 Super Sunshine. I think, you know, clearly that says we're ready to roll today. Midnight Chaos is a player as well. Well, quickly, we've been motoring along. We got a lot to do. We want to take a break here. 5 down, 6 to go, and that's rainbow time when we come back. Ronnie's got an updated ticket. We'll get him back here shortly, but $200,000 in the estimated jackpot. Stay tuned.
And they're off.
Big with new DRF All Access past performances.
With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to drf.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
And welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nato with you. A beautiful Saturday here. Come on out. It is one of the best days we've had in a while here as we gear up for the championship meet. We've got a championship meet kind of card today. 2 brilliant 2-year-old maiden special weight races. A stakes coming up here in race 6. We'll get to in a second. But the Rainbow 6 now, it's approaching $250,000. 200 is the estimate today. I would think they're going to fire pretty good on a fun sequence. And Ronnie, as I mentioned, he's off today, but he's got an updated ticket that we're going to take a look at now, and he upped it a little bit, 48.60, and this is when he hit it, I think, last Friday he hit it on a 48.60 ticket. He'll go 3 deep here. You can see in race number 9, that is his single, and that's the 5-horse Hurricane Nelson. Christophe Clement, you want to talk championship meet, Christophe Clement back in the entry box as well for Dean Reeves here with a horse that finally broke his maiden last time. Hurricane Nelson is Ronnie's single on a 48.60 Rainbow 6. Let's get into it now. This is the stakes today, the Juvenile Fillies Sprint for the 2-year-old state bred. The Florida bred fillies here will go 6.5 furlongs, a massive scratch of the 5, La Gioconda. Unfortunately, your 9-5 favorite, morning line favorite, is out of this race, and it does 2 things. Obviously, it knocks the value way down on everybody else. It hurts the flow of the race, too, because the 3 Bella Cleopatra and the 5 La Gioconda were going to duel. There was no 2 ways about it. They were going to hook up early. They were going to hook up often. And now Bella Cleopatra, who I'll talk about in a second, she looks controlling in here. And unfortunately, that's a big problem for my best bet of the day, and that's the one Volatile, who looks like a filly for Fernando Abreu that's got a very, very bright future. You watched this maiden win last time when she had an absolute world of trouble, and we're going to bring it up now, and she still persevered. Second lifetime start. Now, this is the start here, okay, for this homebred for John Penn, and she's going to make a real mess of it. She's going to drop back early right there, and that's a big problem. You can see her check back several lengths. She spots everybody open length. She's behind the 8 ball. Now watch again. Look at her rolling. She needs to jump over these horses to have a fair go of it, because she's going to get absolutely stymied again. Look at the run she has. Look at the dirt she's taking. And right here, I mean, Miguel's got nowhere to go, and he can't do anything. It's not his fault. He's just biding his time, hoping and praying the seam's going to open. Certainly she checks again there, but now into the breach, tipped out to daylight. You watch her strides and watch her head, and she just wants to roll, and she rolls home. And this is a very, very exciting prospect. She ran about 10 jumps that day at 18-1, by the way, if you had her. I certainly didn't. Unfortunately, the complexion is going to change now, and she's going to have to show a lot more speed early, and Miguel's going to have to thread the needle. He's going to have to chase Bella Cleopatra a little bit without, using up too much of his horse. So we'll see what we get today, but I still think she's a very, very nice prospect for the Abreu barn, and she is my best bet of the day. The 3 is Bella Cleopatra. We talked about a little bit. Private purchase after a demolition job at Colonial on the main track. Okay. That's great. She went 44-3. George Weaver's going to take over. We know how good George is. Paco's going to get aboard. All big positives. Go back. If you watch the dirt races at Colonial, it doesn't matter how fast they go there. They still keep going. And it's very, I don't want to call her suspect, and these guys aren't jumping in to buy, slow horses or not prospects. But I always take the dirt races. Of course, Colonial Downs, they run a 10-race card. 8 of them are going to be on the turf. I always take their dirt races with a grain of salt. This is the big leagues today. These are, much, much better, even though she did beat Open Company that start. I got to give her that. But I'm going to make her prove it today. She's going to be on dry land over here to my right today, too. She caught a muddy main track at Colonial on debut. They did better that day. That's a positive. I'm just going to make her prove it today, even though the flow of this race says she's going to have a big, big chance. Miss World Worldwide. Brian Lynch, he's run one horse. Somehow, inexplicably, he won the stakes at an even 4-1 with a horse with a world of class. Well, Brian's got another stakes runner here. She's been doing open company on the Tapeta at Presque Isle. That's the 4 Miss Worldwide on the main track at Ellis. She's never been in against state breds. You get Edgar Zayas here. Brian, don't forget how prolific Brian started the championship meet off last year. Late pick 5 now in race number 7. This is the second of the 2 dynamite 2-year-old maiden special weight races. We're at 6 furlongs here for the Colts. Take a look at Samantha's ticket now. Now, this is interesting. She's going to use the 4 here, and we'll talk about this. I thought she'd be single in grayscale. In race number 8, she's going to go 4 deep and then kind of on down the line. Race 11, she's got a couple of them. But let's get back now to race 7. We talked about yesterday, Rojo Rita was long rumored to be Safi's best 2-year-old filly, and we'll show you in the lightning round how she delivered. Well, the word is out, and I probably don't even need to tell you this. The word is out on grayscale, how good he could be. Look at the work. So we were talking in the office, Eddie Gray, our crack writer, and Phil. You know, they've been doing this a lot longer than me. 44 and change bullet work on October 20th, and I don't remember seeing that. Let's show you grayscale in the morning. Safi, Bob Edwards, and E5 Racing. Drayden Van Dyke is here. The Dam was unraced. It's her second foal. The other one took her second start to win. She's okay. Zoe's prime. She was second in the Limehouse at Keeneland. Grayscale on the outside, and just watch how easily Grayscale is going to do this under an absolute hammerlock here. You can see he's one of those horses that almost looks like he's going fast, really slow, if that makes sense. And he's never allowed to run here either. And now just a little shake of the reins, and he's down the road. This is a power drill. I think today, now we can segue over to Commendatore, who I couldn't really find anything. The works don't give a lot away. You can see the September 22nd drill says he can run. It's Gustavo Delgado, it's JR Ranch. Those guys have been, since Mage on the scene, prolific. I think you could maybe think Commendatore is going to be a better horse than Grayscale, but I think today, on November the 16th, Grayscale will be too much racehorse because he's going to have speed. He's going 6 furlongs, and I think he's going to be a little more precocious than Commendatore, who these guys buy horses to be prospects down the line. Mage, you think of that. You think of Ferocious, who's going to be so good now that the blinkers are going to go on in his next start. The other thing with Commendatore, the Dam, who was 0 for 3, she really couldn't do much. She's a half to Stanford. And if you remember Stanford back in the day for Todd Pletcher, I think Michael Tabor as well, they couldn't write a race long enough for Stanford. So that tells me Twirling Candy on the top, the Dam with Stanford in that pedigree. We need 2 turns. We need more ground than 6 furlongs. Commendatore, let's watch one. You know, they ran that good horse, the horse that's going to be the good horse yesterday, the My Racehorse JR horse that kind of broke slow, and you could watch her. She was on the hard chase the whole way. It was pretty obvious yesterday between Rojo Rita and that horse. Next time, longer for the Gustavo horse. I think that might be what we're going to get today with Commendatore, but again, these guys do nothing wrong, and then he's an exciting prospect as well. What a race. I actually tried to split him with Insurmountable, who ran well for Antonio last time, and he's got speed, and Antonio got good the other day, and we talked about this. He won a slew of races. When he does get good, look out. I want to show you the replay of Vanilla Franco. Now, this is important here. This is the gate drill for Vanilla Franco, who's drawing the 10 post today. Watch what happens in the start of this gate drill. He's going to take a right turn, okay? And now today, he's on the outside making his debut. Takes him a while to get going. I think that's something very, very noteworthy. Horses, when they debut on the outside, have a penchant to break out. And I'm very worried with Vanilla Franco today, who I don't know how good he is anyway. They did pay $400 for this Nyquist. Not a lot of pedigree here. The Dam did win her debut by the length of the stretch, but I want to watch one from Vanilla Franco today. Race number 8 kicks off the late pick 4. I've got that ticket now. We'll take a quick look at it. It's a $48 ticket. That is as most as I really, quite honestly, want to spend in a pick 4, but it's that kind of sequence. I didn't have a single either. We went 4 deep here in race number 9. I've got the 7 on top, and That is Dropkick Murphy. Race number 10 will go 2 deep. I've got the 4 Raging Fury. And in race number 11, 3 deep in that one, I have the 3 David's Rose on top. They're all competitive races. They're all fair prices, so I think that's what helps. But again, $48, that's about the max where you want to be on a late 4. Let's get back into it now. Mile and a 16th on the Tapeta, 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 2. It's a $16,000 2L. It's a clean field of 10. My goodness, good luck here. Competitive race. I went with Downing Street, the 4, who's back on the Tapeta for Jose D'Angelo, and that was the good run back in September when he was a good 3rd that day, and I think that puts him as the horse to beat here. The margin is not much, and I think there's others in here as well. Gemstone Warrior, you want to price in here. Don't sleep on Gemstone Warrior, the 8. He was my long shot last time. He ran okay that day. He was chasing late and he was making up ground, so I put him in second. Listen, Blaze of Colors got Paco. We know they're going to bet these horses. He's off the claim for Jose Gallegos, who's solid enough, but he's away from Dave Fawkes and he's rising in class a little bit, and I wanted to kind of at least fade him a little bit. He's kind of the horse I'm against in here. Whitingfield for Rohan, back on the Tapeta as well. Wasn't far behind. Downing Street. Race number 9. Again, 5.5 on the Tapeta. It's a Florida bred optional claimer here. 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 4. East Boston Benny is out of this race. I'm on the 7 in here. Dropkick Murphy for Bobby DeBona and Joe Colonna. Off the claim. We're going to rise in class. They claim this horse off a win for $8K last time. And I like what they're doing in here. You look at Dropkick Murphy's form. He's only been running against open company, and now they dipped him in last time. There was probably a shake on this horse. He's claimed he's a 3-time winner in a field of a bunch of 1-fers, and I think that's very, very significant against a group like this. He's drawn perfectly. Bobby is 26% off the claim. I think that's big as well. Dropkick Murphy on top for me. The 6 is David's Song, who's in the mix for Carlos David. Going to run on the Tapeta now for the first time ever, so it's a little bit of a guessing game. I don't know what we're going to get from David's Song, but this is a very, very strong barn that really does nothing wrong. The 2 is Awesome Crusader, he's in the mix, okay? The problem is he got necked out at this level last time, but the problem is he's 2 for 29 with 12 seconds and 3/3. So I don't know if you want to take a horse like that on top. What do you get from the 5 Hurricane Nelson, who very likely will be favored in here? He finally broke the maiden last time for Clement. I mentioned Christoph. Great to see his name back in the entry box as he runs his first of what will be many horses over the course of the winter in the championship meet. Take a look at his stat here now, because Hurricane Nelson has never run on the Tapeta. 18% maiden winners last time out. That's solid enough. The Tapeta's a guessing game. He's been running against open company up in New York. Now, it took him forever to break his maiden. He was a private purchase from Team Delgado off the maiden race back in August. You know, I think we can all be honest. He's been a disappointment. Not that he's been running poorly, but they didn't buy him to take 6 starts to break his maiden. He gets in with Florida Breds today. The only time he was ever in against Florida Breds, he caught Ben Tornado, second in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. So he caught a real tiger that day. You know, he's probably best in here, but there's some monkey wrenches as well with him never trying the Tapeta. He's facing winners for the first time. He needed slop and a 4-horse field to finally break his maiden last time, too. So don't lose sight of that. He's a player. He's an A, but he's a little bit of an underlay, and that's why I put him underneath. Race number 10, late double time here. 7 furlongs on a fast main track. Florida Breds in the spotlight again in this optional claimer. Scratched the 1 Morgan Point, who won yesterday, and he was game to do it over open company. Scratched the 8 Lightning Tones. His late run will see another day. And the 11 Awesome Train is out as well. I'm on the 4 Raging Fury. The value's long gone now. He comes in off a dominant win for $35,000, won by 8 lengths. He's off the claim now for Nolan Ramsey. Nolan's just getting started. He's been a very high percentage trainer. Off the claim hasn't been his thing, but it's only 0 for 4, so it's not like a big stat. And look at the work on November the 9th. Look at that bullet, 45-2. You lose a lot of value in this spot because of the scratches. What do you make of Secret Chat? I don't really know, to be honest with you. The work I saw was, it didn't blow me away any, but he did work 58-2 back in October. He hasn't run since April 13th. He's never been in against older horses. He was a fringe Triple Crown kind of horse last year. Now he's with Victor Barboza. He's probably going to be bet off the board with Paco, especially with the scratches. I don't know. We got to just take a little bit of a wait and see approach. Here's Frank's Mimi, the 3. Guys, let's scrap that video because we got plenty of going on here. And Morgan Point was merely the focus of the video. Frank's Mimi is going to be a speed play in here, but I think the video is more Morgan Point, and he's out. Macazon comes in off 3 straight dominant wins by about 22 lengths. State Breds today, a rising class today, off the claim for Jose D'Angelo. He's a must-use player as well. And then we'll also quickly mention Avant Glory, another one off a dominant claiming win, off the claim now for DeBona. We'll see what we get today. 3 horses stepping up in class, and they're facing Secret Chat. Kind of makes for a compelling television. Race number 11 will wrap up this card at about 5:16 in the p.m. These are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, $10,000 claimers. We do have a scratch of the outside horse, the 11. Our Firebird, and actually it was a late scratch. The 2 Streaking Gray is out, and what a bummer that was, because that was my top pick. I was going to try to blow this race up a little bit, and the 8 Irish Victory is out as well. So thank you, Robles, who texted me. Those are late scratches. If you're not in the loop, not only is the 11 Our Firebird out, but the 2 Streaking Gray and the 8 Irish Victory are out as well. I scratch into the 3 David's Rose, who certainly is seemingly, at least on form, a little bit on the upswing, facing State Bred optional claimers last time. Open waters today. I'm not sure. I think this is probably, a lateral move. I don't really view this as a class drop because those are pretty cagey horses in those kind of ranks. The 10 is White Knuckle Flower. Jen Young and Powder Pop taking over here on a horse that has never run on Tapeta. Has solid turf form in the Mid-Atlantic at our sister track with Phil Capuano, who does a good job up there. Powder Pop and Jen taking over here, and you better give this one a second look because those are crafty connections. Unfortunately, value is really out of the equation now with 3 scratches, especially 2 or 3 major contenders as well. The 4, let's show Amori Control. This is... I got to use this horse now because of the scratches, and it bothers me because this was my biggest fade of the day. Amori Control wins this race, but what I wanted to show you here was the 1, okay? That's the 1, and that was the heavy favorite. Megan's Making Money, who I think was 3-5 in that race. She's speed. She blows the race at the start. They're off, you lose. What does it allow Amori Control to do? Get clear in control early while she was walking the dog to get there, 22-3. And of course she's going to run off by over 5 lengths because she never had to break a sweat. And the only real horse in the race was eliminated at the break. And that's what I wanted to show that day. She got a massive edge at the start of that race, and golf clap to her. She took advantage of it. Good. The set of circumstances today is supposed to be different. She's going to have to work harder on the lead. The scratches help her cause, but I'm still against her, and she's going to be bet really hard in this spot. So I just wanted to let everybody know. Tread a little bit lightly with her. I think her form is definitely dressed up off what happened last time at the start of her main opponent. That's the 11-pack for you today. We've got about 25 minutes to the opener. We'll get to this lightning round quickly, and what I wanted to show you to lead it off. How could we not lead it off with Rojo Rita, who was just lovely yesterday, writing tickets to everybody else in this race. And let's just take a look what was going on here. Runs off the screen. I think it was 16 1/4 lengths is what I've heard from the chart, and she had to earn it. Look at the fractions, 22 flat. Long rumored to be a runner. She delivered here as well. Very exciting prospect. How far she wants to run, I don't know. I don't really care either, because what you saw there is she could be a dynamite regardless. Tomorrow we've got a really good overnight handicap on the Tapeta for the gals, and it marks Charlie's Wish's second start on the Tapeta. I'm going to show you her debut on the Tapeta when she absolutely looped the field. I think she swept the rainbow this day for somebody too. This was a powerhouse performance. She is so good for Dave Fox. Dirt, turf, and now Tapeta, who cares? She'll run over everything, but she's catching land and sea tomorrow for Riley Mott, who's already won an overnight stakes at the meet with his only other runner. And Landon C, if you remember her last year during the thick of the championship meet, she dominated on the Tapeta. So that's a really good clash tomorrow, and that's the Daring Kathy. And act fast. We're going to run this one more time because next week is Taste at the Track. These tickets will sell out. Get them ASAP. Martinis, paninis, and linguine. Dennis was licking his chops at that yesterday. I was too, quite honestly, because that looks pretty good. They always deliver upstairs, and it's a lot of fun. Very kind of classy, fun day out. Great racing as well, and great food, and, of course, martinis. Last but not least, best bet, long shot for me today. My best bet gets hurt a couple different ways. The price is gone on Volatile with a big scratch. The flow is gone with La Gioconda coming out, but I still think off her maiden win, she's really, really good. My long shot today is Warlord Cruzan, I believe. Yeah, in race number 5, that is the 6-horse Warlord Cruzan back sprinting today. I think is going to be a big, big help. So that's the 11 of them for you. We got about 22 minutes to post. Hope to see you out here. Beautiful Gulfstream Park today. What a day of racing. The 2-year-olds as well in the spotlight today. And these are names and horses to take notice and watch of, because I got a feeling you're going to hear a lot about them and see a lot of them down the road. Gabe Pruitt is upstairs, and I'm going to send it to him now for the scratches and the changes on the 11-race Saturday card. Best of luck today.